Hello everybody and welcome to Tech Talk Thursday. And today we're going to be talking about using AI to create your video content. We thought we'd start a little bit early just to kick a few things off. If you're joining me in Substack land, then come and say hello because the chat is supposed to be working. So let's find out whether it is. And if you're here on the lives, wherever you are in live streaming world, come and say hello in the chat. Pop your messages in there. We're going to have a little bit of interaction with Streamer Live very shortly. But we've got an hour, and we've got quite a few things to go through. Some interesting stuff that Martin's going to show you. I'm also going to show you a few things with Nano Banana. So let's crack on, shall we? And let's get Mr. McKenna on. Hello. How's it going? I'm just going to turn this volume down a bit. Okay. How are you?
You're deafening yourself, are you?
A little bit with the music.
Good morning, good evening, good lunchtime. Whatever it is, wherever you are, welcome to sunny Edinburgh. And been fairly sunny today, so always happy to start with a chat about the weather.
Of course, we're British. That's all we talk about. Well, it's nice and fine and dandy here. The rain is coming at the weekend. We've had a very late summer, but October is kicking in. So yeah, I mean, you know, we need the rain. We still got fires going on. We just need some rain. Put these fires out. So go ahead.
So. 101 applications to play with. Not quite sure which ones to play with because there's so many of them and changing so quickly. So I think this evening we've selected a few between us, and I'm going to look at a little bit of Ideogram and a little bit of Veed.io with two different features in Veed.io, and that's going to involve us jumping around a little bit because we're going to be doing some generation. So that's when you press the big generate button, everything renders, and it might take a couple of minutes. So that's going to involve me pressing buttons and then waiting and then jumping back to Neil doing some nano bananaing and then back and forth. So exactly. There'll be some jumping about tonight, and what you should never do is live demos, but of course we're going to do lots of live demos, and I don't really know what's going to happen because AI is in control.
Exactly. It might take over the world. Got a couple of people joined us already. Let's go to the comments. My stream deck is a little bit slow today, but Billy, thank you for joining us on this time zone. I know you couldn't normally join us, so thanks for joining us. And hopefully you've got your Decklink Quad card up and running and working. Let me know in the comments how wonderful it is now and life-changing for you. I hope it is a little bit tricky to get working, but glad I could help you out yesterday. And Saeed, how are you? Hello from Germany, whether I am right. You're always right, Saeed. And sorry I couldn't join all your other sessions this week, but I did join the first one, which was fun. It's nice to have 4 collaborators together working on Fit for Facilitation, FFF. So that was fun. I'm glad you were working on that. So, Martin, I guess, do you want to start, or shall I just crack on with one thing first? It depends on the timings and whatever. Do you want to do something first?
I'll start with a couple of little bits and pieces, and then what we can do is I will give you a cue and we will come back to you. So what I wanted to start off with was to have a quick look at Ideogram. So for those of you who haven't used Ideogram before, it's an AI generation tool from prompts. So basically you can prompt it, it will give you anything that you want. So you can see here on my screen, I've been doing all sorts of things with Ideogram. It kind of lays these all out, and it calls them your creations, and they can be in multiple different formats. So you can see here that I've got some vertical formats and some square formats and some totally different things. So I use it for creating some backgrounds for me as well for some of my live streams. So you can see there's a few backgrounds there, and I've used those along with an example, because the important thing here is that you can add in a reference image. So on the right of the screen we've got our little Creator Cafe logo and reference, and it has created for me some backgrounds in that style. So the images to the left of that, the 4 images there with the double screens on, I've played about with those and done some animations with them. And then just below that we've got a Halloween show coming up, so you will see these pictures of myself and Neil looking fairly ridiculous in some sort of cartoon style background. I don't know why I did that, but I was playing about with some Halloween themes, and you can see some others with cobwebs and all sorts of bats on my head and things like that, and then some backgrounds, because I found out that if I create a few backgrounds of beaches and things like that, I can actually then go to other AI tools and get them to animate the beach in the background, and that's a very accurate representation of a beach called Portobello Beach in Edinburgh, and the animations work really well for that. So I've combined various tools together to get to what I want to. But one of the cool features with ideogram is that you can also play about with characters. So with characters, what you do is you upload a character image of yourself. So you can see here myself and Neil plus some other people we've been working with, and then we've got Scott Skibell there as well, and I've been playing about with some characters for these people. So it's very, very important that you start with a good image of yourself. So a good crisp image. You can see they're crisp images of each individual there, and actually what we've done is slightly AI enhanced them before we started with the whole process, if you like. So we've enhanced the images, put them in there, and then you can start playing about with the individual characters. So if I go back to, let's have a look at Charlie. So here's Charlie, who was on our big show last week. Charlie and his 167,000 followers on LinkedIn was talking about AI. Highly recommend you go back and watch that on our playlist. But I had Charlie looking like a superhero, and indeed everybody else looking like a superhero, as that was kind of a theme for us in recent weeks. So if I go over to Neil's character, then we can see Neil as a superhero on the right, plus looking a bit confused in his seat, covered in cobwebs.
Always.
And another one that I've used recently, not that you're always confused sitting in your seat covered in cobwebs, but could be a future for you, Neil.
Pretty close.
And then we've got me in various different poses, again covered in cobwebs, but also looking very smart with a black background. And the reason for having the black background is I was going to use, or have used several occasions, the remove background feature in Veed when it comes to creating talking head videos. So we're going to do a little bit of that later on. And you can also see a bit further down these pictures of me in various different shapes. Now, the way that I've done that is that I've dropped in some of these reference images down the bottom here, and when I've created the new image, it references the logo images that I put in below and sort of incorporates the two together. So it's picked up the sort of orange colours and the styling and the angles and things like that. And so I've used a couple of those as well. And what I tend to do is then take that image and maybe drop it into Photoshop and extend it a little bit to give me more space on the screen. So I've got space for me and space to present, and that's important as well. So your screen layout is very important when you're using all of these products, because you don't necessarily want yourself giant in the middle of the screen taking it all up, if really what you want to achieve is more of a I suppose a keynote PowerPoint style presentation with you to one side and information to the other side. What the easiest thing to do that I've found is just create that in Photoshop as your background, and the tools will pick out the character reference for you and do stuff with it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stick in a prompt to create a new character. So being as I'm pretty hopeless at typing live, I have cut and pasted that text, and it says, and I've no idea what's going to turn up here because I've never tried this particular prompt or anything like it before. So I've said a soccer player holding a soccer ball, facing directly at the camera but smiling slightly. In the background is a stadium in the evening with floodlights and a soccer goalpost in the distance behind the player. Give the background depth of field and slight bokeh blur. Spelt wrong, bokeh. But B-O-K... Is that B-O-K-H? That doesn't look right either. Help me spell bokeh. E-A. E.
Oh, it's B-O.
B-O-K.
B-O-K.
K.
Yeah, I can't remember now. Hang on.
E-A.
I can't remember. It's like
Hopefully
bouquet.
it'll recognise
It'll recognise it. It'll recognise it.
Hopefully it'll recognise that. So, but we will see. So I've thrown that in just to see what it creates, and I've noticed that I haven't changed the aspect ratio. So it's going to do these in 19:16 aspect ratio, which isn't actually what I wanted. I might come back and play about with that in a moment or two, but it's pretty quick at generating the images for me. So I'm just going to change the aspect ratio because I'm going to want to have that different when I come back to hopefully make this a talking head in a minute or two. So again, it's been very quick to generate the images, and it has put floodlights in the background and a goalpost in the background for me as well. I didn't know whether it was going to recognise the difference between soccer and football, so I intentionally didn't use the word football because it probably was going to give me American football of some description. So here we are. I've got a bunch of different images to choose from, and I wanted to have a goal in the background. So maybe this image, possibly. That looks all right. Or this image as well. Although I'm looking slightly smug there. So I think we're going to go for the one that's got the ball in its hand already. And I'm just going to download that image. And I will leave it as a candid photo portrait of a person, etc., etc., and download that image. So having downloaded the image, what I'm now going to do is jump over to Veed. So in Veed, what I can do is create a new project. So I start a new project, and I light up my face because the background's white here. And there are multiple different areas within Veed that you can play about with, but what I want to do is use the Veed image to video creation. So if I click generate up here and then add in a character and upload a character, so I can choose files, or if I can find my file, I can drop my file in here. So it's dropped my file in there, and then I can add some speech in. Now I much prefer to add in my own speech rather than use one of their AI generated voices. I don't think they quite pick out my voice correctly, even though I've tried that at quite some length. So I am going to take a sip of water and do a recording. So nobody make any noise in the background, I'm recording. So it's Martin here. Please come along and join my soccer school, where I'm going to teach you all about the rules of soccer and exactly how to play the game, and indeed how to score some goals. In fact, I forgot to hit the record button, so that won't do much. So welcome, my name's Martin. This is my school of soccer. This is my stadium behind me. I'm going to teach you all about the rules of soccer and hopefully show you how to score some goals. So you can do a retake at this point if you really want to, no problem at all, or I can just add my speech in there. So it's only 11 seconds long. It's using the Veed Fabric tool, which is very good at lip syncing a still image to your voiceover. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hit generate. So here we go to generate, and this is going to take a minute or two to generate. So this is the perfect opportunity for me to see if Neil is following along or has gone to sleep, because I've flipped to this scene up here.
I'm still here. Don't worry. I'm still here. We can't spell bouquet or bokeh according to Saeed.
B-O-K-E-H.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
B-O-K-E-H,
yeah, I should have known this.
I had a brain fart. I don't know.
Yeah, as a photographer, one should know these things. I'm talking to myself here. So yeah, it is today's episode.
Anyway,
is Spelling Live. Why not?
We can't even spell Saeed's name correctly between us.
let's not go there. So let me, whilst we're waiting for your stuff to generate, I'm going to just go over to Nana Banana and just play with a couple of images. So the first one I'm just going to show you is, I mean, I used to use Photoshop all the time. I know Martin used to use Photoshop as well, and I know Photoshop has got lots of things to related to AI, so you can remove stuff in images and all kinds of stuff. But right now, I don't use any of that software. I use a little bit of Canva, but for complicated stuff, for example, I'm just going to find this one here. I'm just going to put this object in here. So this particular one is of me back in the day. Oops, let me just get rid of that. Let me just find that one. So you can see this one. This is me looking at something, taking a photograph back in the day when I was younger and didn't have a beard. But I don't want this clothesline in the background because, you know, it's not very good as a promotional video. So all I'm going to do is pop it into Nana Banana. Just go to gemini.google.com, click on the images to make sure. And we've had some fun with this as well. And obviously it loses the image as soon as you click that. So let me just drag that back in. And I'm just going to say remove washing line. And hopefully it'll do that. It did it before when I was testing with other things, but it's very good at removing objects and changing colors of objects and reformatting objects. So we'll show you that in a second. But you can see here, if I just bring this up, it's perfectly removed that clothesline. I don't actually see any artifacting in it as well, which is very clever. There used to be a time when, especially using Photoshop in its initial stages, where you would get this sort of line and mess and this artifacting and things. So that's just one sort of easy workflow that I do now. And you can also enhance these pictures as well and make them a little bit sharper and things like that. But I'll just pause there and see if Mr. Martin is ready to go back to his thing, or I can do another quick thing. No.
Do another quick one.
I'll do another quick one. Okay, so here's another one then. So this is an old photograph of my mum when she was at her sister's wedding. And I'm going back, let me just think, well, how was my mum? Probably around 70 years ago, this picture. So you can see it's a bit over bright. Actually, this was a screenshot that I took of an old photograph. So what I'm going to do for this one is actually, it's always good to start a new chat as well. So I'm going to start a new chat, generate image. I'm going to drag this picture of my mother in there. And I'm just going to say, colorize. You have to do the American spelling. And enhance this photo. I can't spell enhance. And let's see what it does. Now, I've thrown a couple of older images through in the past. I've got lots of old family photographs and things, and it was really nice to sort of bring those to life. I've seen some of those videos where they start to animate people who've passed away and things. I'm not too sure I like that, but I like the idea that you can actually change the image. So if you just look at the original image a second, what that looked like, and now look at the enhanced colored version. Now, I'd never seen a colored version of this before, because obviously, you know, all the pictures I have of my mum back in the day when she was, I think she's probably in her 20s here, was all black and white. That's a really nice come to life image, I think. I think that's a beautiful image, what it's done there. And it's preserved all the features. And I know the church that she was in, because that's my old church where I used to live. And I just love it. It's just a stunning way of bringing old photographs to life. And that was just one prompt, few seconds. Just love that. So that's Nana Banana. I thought I'd share that with you because it's just a real nice way of sort of bringing old photographs to life.
I think it's amazing how it's picked out some perfect colours for all of the flowers and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, you know, if you've got creased photos or something like that from the bottom of a drawer, then it's going to remove all creases and stuff like that. So what a fantastic way to
yeah. And it's even brought the door as well, right? There was no door there. It's picked out a door. It knew that was like an archway there behind it, but you can't even see the door in this image. But it's done a good job of you know, putting something in there that it thinks was probably not the real door, but it's great. It's great. Anyway, sir, how you doing?
Yeah.
You good to go? Okay.
Our generation's complete. What I'm not entirely sure is whether we're going to hear this. Now, I have got audio capture switched on, so you should be able to, but I'm going to guess maybe
I'll let you know.
You couldn't, because we will see in a moment. Let me just tell me whether you can hear this.
No.
No. Okay, so you're not going to hear this, and I'm not quite sure
Is it
what
in
I
your
haven't got switched on.
sound panels? Is your sound panels, has it got the, it will probably be playing through, you'll see another slider in Ecamm that says audio capture or sound, something like that. There should be a second one. You might have to enable it in your preferences. You can still do it.
Yeah, I thought I'd enabled screen capture when sharing screen.
Yes, but if you're sharing the screen, you also have to enable it in two places. One in the Ecamm preferences globally, and then in your share screen, you click on the pen tool and you should see capture audio. And then only when you see that meter come on the sound levels panel will you then get audio.
And now I have. So let me just turn it down a bit to make sure it's not going to blow everybody's head off, which it probably will. And let me just press that button. So now we have created a little video of me in my soccer school. So what I can do is just add it to the screen, and we will play me speaking. So welcome, my name's Martin. This is my school of soccer. This is my stadium behind me. I'm going to teach you all about the rules of soccer and hopefully show you how to score some goals. So hopefully you did hear that this time.
We did, yeah. I love the way you're holding that ball. It's like glued to your hand, but that's
it's
okay.
Glued to my hand. It's glued to my hand. So what I can do is a selection of magic tools here, some of which are really good, and allow you to select a video and play about with the video. So I can add in some B-roll, and it will automatically put in some B-roll if I had a longer video going on. And you can touch up your face, clean up the audio. This is a good one, which is create eye contact. So if your image was slightly pointed to one side, then what it'll actually do is just turn your head and make you face the camera, which is really useful. I mentioned removing the background. There's a remove background tool and a green screen tool. I find the remove background tool works better than the green screen tool. You can also get it to remove silences and filler words and things like that, which is, I guess, quite useful if you're doing a longer video. And you can start adding in all sorts of sound effects and audio and flying texts and things like that. So let's just play this once more, and you'll find. So welcome, my name's Martin. This is my school of soccer. This is my stadium behind me. I'm going to teach you all about the rules of soccer and hopefully show you how to score some goals. So lip sync, dead on, really good at that sort of thing. I could add in all sorts of other different elements, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to download that video as is, and then we're going to put it into the AI playground and see if we can get some more action going on, that potentially I would then create a new project with the video I'm just created at the moment, and then add another one onto the end of it. So we probably won't go through that whole process, but you'll get the principle anyway. So if I click done now and say, right, I'm happy with that, and I could change the volume, and maybe I will just bring the volume down a little bit here on the audio side of that, because it seemed loud to me. But I'll click done, and I can then choose to export the video, and it's going to go off, and it only takes a few seconds to actually export the video. So it's exported the video, and at this point it actually improves the lip syncing a little as well. So you were really looking at a kind of a preview before of the lip syncing. But I'm just going to now download that video, and the download will only take a moment or two, but I can then come and create a new project and upload that into my new project. So let's just do that for the moment. So I'm going to go into the AI playground here, and to some degree inevitably I won't find the video I'm looking for. I can choose from all these different creation tools within the AI playground. So some of them have more credits than the other. So this Google one has 1,000 credits it's going to use up. the open source AI 800 credits. That seems like a lot. So I'm just going to go for this Kling one here. What's that one with 2,000 odd? So the Google ones, they've obviously come to some sort of agreement where they get completely fleeced by Google. So we won't bother with the Google ones. But what I will do is I will come down here and I will go image to video. Choose an image. So what I can do here is just take my flat image, so I don't have to take the whole video here. I can just take a flat image and then put in what I want it to do. So I've said make the soccer player score a goal and celebrate by doing a backflip. At this point, fireworks should go off around the stadium. Who knows if that's going to happen? But I've got the aspect ratio correct. If you don't get the aspect ratio correct between your picture and what you're trying to do, it will tell you. You can do portrait style videos, as you can see directly above there, and that's not a problem at all. But not all the engines will do portrait, and only a very few of them will do square, but all of them seem to do 16 by 9. So if I now hit my button here, it's going to go off and generate, and this may well take a minute or two. So at this point it is back to Neil's Nano Banana.
All right, we've got a comment from Gretchen. Gretchen, thank you so much for joining us on sunny LinkedIn. I'm glad everything is working on LinkedIn. Yes, the pronunciation of bokeh or bouquet is an ongoing argument of the year. Yeah, I don't know how it's supposed to be pronounced. We can't spell it, so we certainly can't talk about how it's pronounced as well. So we're not going to worry about that. Let's go back to my share real quick. Where is it? In fact, we've got a Stream Alive poll going on. And just let us know if you've explored creating any video using AI. You can just put 1 for yes in the chat, 2 for no, 3 for thinking about it, or 4, why would I even bother? So just put, I don't think Martin can do anything in the chat, but I can certainly just start. I'll click for you, Martin. How about that? Because I know what you are doing, because obviously it's going to be...
You know what I'm doing.
Yeah, and I'll do another one because I'm doing that as well. But put it in the chat, 1, 2, 3 or 4, depending. And well, it's a resounding yes so far because it's just you and me, I think, has just voted. But if anybody else in the Substack chat as well, I can relay these messages over to Stream Alive. Saeed is 4. Why would I? See, there you go. I knew there'd be controversy already. We've got Mark. Thanks for joining us, Mark. Education on Fire is 1. So at the moment, it's 75% says yes and 25% says no. All right. Well, I mean, that's fair enough. Go ahead.
That's fair enough. But why don't you just explain where Stream Alive is plugged in? Because it's plugged in all over the place here. We normally just do it to like Zoom or to YouTube, just one channel. But we're actually using a Chrome plugin here, aren't we?
Yeah. So
well, I'm not. You are.
Yeah. You're doing the hard work by demoing stuff. I'm just pressing buttons again today. But yeah, today we're just using the Stream Live Restream plugin. That means we're going live to my channel, LinkedIn, Martin's channel on YouTube, Martin's LinkedIn. I'm also going to Substack and X. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. So we're multi-streaming and we're bringing all the augmented comments and therefore all the poll results into Restream, and then that's pushing it via the plugin to Stream Live, and it's working well. It's just a Chrome plugin. I'm just using a browser and I'm sharing that browser right now. So yeah, it's working well at the moment. So thanks for your votes. It's interesting. Saeed has got a comment which we will bring up. Let me just bring those comments up. And Saeed basically says, I am just too old to try out every new tool. My brain cannot handle it, and they're often rabbit holes. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, yeah, we're a little bit older than you, Saeed, but I think it all depends on what you want to use it for. Just because there's a tool there and there's lots of tools that are available, it doesn't mean necessarily that you should be using them. If there's a use case for generating some content, some fun stuff and things like that, then why not use it? So, and Martin is the master at rabbit holes, because when somebody mentions a new tool and so on, Martin goes all in. Just doesn't sort of, play around with it for 5 minutes. You spend hours, days and weeks. So speaking of which, I'll just quickly share this Nano Banana next workflow. And Mark, myself, and Lisa was having some fun with this on Monday on the Creative Amplify show. We decided to do some makeup and things like that. I'm not going to shock the entire audience with those images again today, but I'm going to show you this one. I'm just got here in the studio a still image of me in my Ecamm top. Now, I like the black Ecamm top, but what if I wanted it to be red? So I'm just going to say change this hoodie to red, and it's pretty quick at doing that. I also can remove the Ecamm logo if I want and put something else on there, which I'm not going to put something else on there, but I'm going to remove it after I've changed the color. So it's almost like having a new wardrobe. And if you've got a decent headshot image that you want for your LinkedIn profile or your professional photographs and things like that, then why not use, hang on, is an image I can try? What? You can't make images like that? Okay, why not? Okay, oh, I see. Change the color of the top to red. Why is it? It is a little bit sensitive with things as well. If you try and ask it to swap faces and stuff, it's just, yeah, not fine. Let's see what it's doing. I'm designed to generate images based on the description, not modify existing ones. What? It normally does. Why is it being a little bit, you know? Oh my gosh. Okay, so it did that. Oh, let me just change this then. Okay, let me just try something else. It worked perfectly fine the other day. So this is a terrible.
I'll tell you what we can do.
Go on.
I'll tell you what we do. Flick back to me
Okay.
while you're pressing your buttons, because you're going to be off the screen.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea.
Because my generation has completed, and I haven't pressed the button yet, so I've no idea what is going to appear. But if you remember, I asked Kling to make the player score a goal and then do a backflip as a celebration, at which point fireworks will go on. Now, bear in mind, it's only got 5 seconds for all of that to happen. So sometimes what it does, it just crops off. It doesn't do everything. It just tries to do what it can with it within the space of time. But I haven't hit play yet. Let's hit play and see what happens. Well, I think that kind of fulfilled the brief, didn't it, really? Let's try that again.
Is there any sound with that? Because I can't hear any sound.
There is no sound.
Oh, right. I didn't know whether you could backflip like that, Martin. That's pretty cool, actually.
I didn't know I could backflip like that, but let's have a look at it again. Although, officially, as soccer goes, you can't throw the ball into the net. But I guess Kling doesn't know that, you know. But I will put this on a wider screen in a moment or two once I have... well, I don't need to do that, do I? I can just... What I would then do with this particular asset is either edit it. So if I click in edit, it's going to go straight back into the Veed Studio, and I can then start adding in some sound effects and things like that. So it hadn't got any sound effects at all, so let's just do that. We'll add in some audio, and if I choose to add in some stadium applause, that's totally deafened me. I don't know how loud that was for everyone else, but
It was quite loud. Let's just say. Not that I can hear anything anymore.
Quite loud.
Quite loud.
No, I can't hear anything anymore. So what you can do is change the volume on all of those sort of things as well. So what I need to do is find where my stadium applause was. Did I add it in, or did I just... I don't think I added it. I think I just played it. No, I just played it. So let's click on that, and we will reduce the volume significantly. And also, if I now do a zoom out, I'll see the whole timeline, and I can just drag that into the bottom of the timeline, and I can fade it in or out as well. So I don't think we need to... Well, we'll fade it in, we'll fade it out. So that'll add that in, and I could add some music in as well. And of course we're seeing this slightly larger now. So let's bring that in and we will play it with a bit of noise in the background. So I would then download that image or that video and then layer it up with the other videos, the other video I created of me talking and saying this is my soccer school, blah blah blah, and then I might put something in the middle and then show you how to do that. So from a very, very simple prompt, you can do some pretty amazing things, providing you start off with a good quality image in the first place. So I think the lesson here is start off with a good quality image. If you've actually got a plan, as I mentioned earlier, to create like a video where you're sitting in a corner of it, it's probably easier to set that up in the first place where your image is sitting in one corner. Within Veed, you can actually crop the images, the same that you can do in Ecamm and OBS and various other tools, and move them around. So I've actually managed to do a couple of videos where myself and Neil are actually recorded, and we recorded our audio together in Ecamm, but recorded it on separate channels, so separate ISO channels. So I got a recording for Neil and a recording for me. I then uploaded both of those into Veed one at a time with an image of me and an image of Neil to create two separate videos, Neil with his image and audio, me with my image and audio in different parts of the screen, and then created a new project and layered those back up one above each other with no background on, and then added in some background. So I had Neil talking on one side, me talking on the other side, my own background that I'd put in behind us, knowing that all of the audio would then be in sync with one another because we'd recorded it at the same time. So a bit of a round the houses way to get to the result, but it meant that we could have the two of us in our AI avatars speaking at the same time or after one another with those pauses, and it all runs very, very smoothly. The only thing I did notice was when the avatar isn't speaking, there is a tendency for it to sort of freeze slightly.
Oh.
So there's a bit of a... And then I've started talking again.
Right.
So there's a little bit of that goes on. So I think probably the thing to do is when we're doing the recording next, you need to just be doing some heavy breathing in the background while I'm
nice.
doing my talk. And then I think the avatar will actually just do... rather than just sit totally still.
It's a different type of video altogether, I think. So we better be careful what we put out there.
I don't have that subscription.
Saeed is taking exception to some of your soccer rules. So he's basically saying that you're not allowed to throw the ball in soccer. And I'm not getting into this. I'll just let you read that. Okay. So let's leave it at that.
Scotland are never winning the World Cup.
Mark is saying that's why we should leave Neil and Martin to play with the AI tools, because obviously people go down rat holes too quickly. Well, and speaking of rat holes, so Google Gemini is not playing ball with me. I've been able to do many different things, change stuff, but it is not happy at wanting to change the color of that top. Now, maybe because it's a logo-based top and it doesn't like it. So let's do something else real quick, and then I'll go back to Martin. So I'm going to just get rid of this image. I'm just going to bring in this this one of me, and it's not a good image at all. It was taken on the iPhone, and it's not actually coming up. Let me just put it here instead. Okay, so this is the image, and it's like, well, that's crap. So I want to make a professional headshot of that. Let's see what it does here. So make a professional headshot from this image. Headshot will be spelled right. There you go. Okay, so this is really where I found it to be very good at, and this is going to prove me wrong now and break completely, but let's try it, where it will keep the image of the person. I guess that's close enough to what I look like on a Monday morning with lots of makeup on. It's not the best image of me, and I think what the point is that Martin made before is if you can give it a much higher quality source image, it's got a lot more to play with. If it's going to have to guess or add in things that aren't there in the main image, then it is going to make you look a little bit, well, a bit like that. But it's okay. It's pretty close, and I could put that on LinkedIn if I were in a pinch, I guess, if I wanted to. Now with this one, I can change the jacket. Let's change it to red. It doesn't matter my bad spelling. It should do this because it's an AI generated image and it's an image of me. It shouldn't have any problems with that. But let's just see. So again, it depends on the use cases. There you go. That's very nice, very dapper. Look like somebody's going to come round to your table in a minute and take your money or your chicken from your plate. One of the two, anyway. But I do think that times have changed so quickly now in the ability for somebody like me who doesn't really want to play with Photoshop. I mean, I can hack my way around it, but I used to find Photoshop really complicated, especially for removing things, masking, removing backgrounds. Like the backgrounds alone, before they came up with these AI background removal tools, were really difficult. How do you find, Martin, because you're a sort of heavy Photoshop user, or was until recently, in terms of the capabilities now of some of these AI photo and video tools to actually do a lot of the masking and the clean masking? I mean, if I just go back to this before you answer real quick, is that this image in particular has completely got rid of all the background. I know it's created a new image of me, but if I was to just ask it to remove the background, it would do a very, very good job as well of that. But yeah, tell me your thoughts on the advances of this technology.
Yeah. So I think I tend to use Kittle for background removing, only because you drop the image in, hit remove background, it takes 5 seconds or something, and then gives you a very crisp image. In particular, it works really, really well if the image was already enhanced using AI in the first place. Because if you think about it, all ones and zeros, AI is looking for an outline, AI created the outline, therefore, there's a good match there. If you put a photo in, AI didn't create the photo, maybe not quite such a good match. So, but Kittle is very, very good at doing that. Photoshop's incredibly good at doing it, but there's so many steps to doing it and so many parameters that it's really, really complicated. I'd rather just drop the image and press a button.
Yes.
And if I need to put a drop shadow on the image that I pull out afterwards, which sometimes you do, then that solves any minor problems that you might have from pixel peepers around the edges of the images. So it's really, really easy to use that one. But I think there's lots now. There are lots of tools. I mean, you can just get your picture on your iPhone and hold your finger on the image and it will cut out the image for you, and it will do a pretty good job of it as well. So you don't need to really be doing anything too complicated.
And I don't think there's
in terms of rabbit holes, certainly gone down 1,000 rabbit holes. And I was just going to show my current YouTube channel with some of the pictures on it, and not without going through all of them, but I just hadn't really prepared for this. But here's my YouTube channel with a whole bunch of different things that I've been playing about with on the channel, of me as a robot, me as a superhero, me with some backgrounds going on there, which is kind of cool. And that's when I used a cutout and put an office background in place of the standard background. So the one thing about these video to image to videos is that it tends to put a static background behind you, and if you want a moving background behind you, the way to do it is put yourself in as a fairly plain background, then ask it to remove the background, and then drop in a video behind it of a moving background. So if you go have a look at that particular video, you'll see that I have got my stream profiles background going on there behind me as I'm talking. To the left of that, a couple of ones to the left, you can see some of those frames that I talked about that I'd created in Ideogram and then dropped in images of myself and Neil. So there's some frame stuff going on there. That's worth having a quick look at. If I just bring up this one here, don't know if it's play this.
Yeah, it's a bit loud.
Too late.
So just give people a warning, I think, at the beginning of this.
So I've just deafened a few people.
That's okay. Yeah, it's me particularly, but it's okay. I'll turn my volume down.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Well, so all sorts of different things you can do. I've got some explainer videos going on down here where you're seeing a little preview there, me talking through how to actually use ideograms. So if you don't use ideogram, never used it before, go and have a look at that explainer video. Only dropped those up a couple of hours ago. So that one is something like 5 30-second videos stitched together. You only get 30 seconds at a time with the talking head, so it can be a bit limiting. I'd like to see that much longer, like 5 minutes would be useful. There's also a bit of a preview of the Halloween special video that I've done, which I'm not going to show you. You're going to have to wait till next week for that one, unless you go to the channel and have a look, that is, of course. But you can see totally different videos, and here's another one here. I don't think this one's particularly loud, but again, this one is actually from a photo of me and literally asking the AI playground for me to jump in and out of the large deck chair.
It's fair to say that deck chair was a real deck chair, wasn't it? It's a real oversized deck chair. Then you just manipulated it.
That's a real,
right?
That is a real oversized deck chair. But if you watch carefully, the scarf going in the air and the microphone appearing out of nowhere and all that sort of thing was just me saying, "Make the man jump in and out of the deck chair and appear with a SM7B style microphone," and it immediately produced that for me. So it's just. The possibilities are your imagination, more or less, on these ones here. So the one down the bottom here, I think I can bring that up probably. Let me turn the sound effects down a bit here and see if that helps. But this is the one where we had the two of us recording the same voiceover.
I'm Neil Faramond.
And I'm Martin McKenna.
Join us this Thursday on Creator Cafe.
Well, we'll be looking at AI for graphics and video.
I'm going to be looking at Google's Nano Banana.
And I'll be showcasing Ideogram and Veed.io.
There you go.
Which is exactly what I said what we were going to do. So
yes, we're close to doing that. Let's just say a quick hello to Beyond Limits HQ. I don't know your name, sorry. But thank you for joining us from, I don't know, it's cold or warm in Ohio at the moment, but it might be quite cold. But thank you for joining us from all the way there. We've got around 10 minutes left.
Hi from Ohio.
So I will just show you one last workflow with Nano Banana. And if you've got something else to show, is that right, Martin? One quick thing, or maybe not?
I think we're probably at the end,
okay.
Other than your promo for next week that involves somebody from Germany who's watching.
Exactly. All right, let me quickly do this then. So this picture here is of a recent show. I say recent, last year. It's a long time ago. Of Tatiana, myself, and Martin. I don't know who that fella is on the right there. Nice cap. We miss your cap. You should wear it again. But anyway, we've got these three characters here, and I just want to generate a, let's say a superhero. So let's say create, if it's going to do this, a comic book style superhero image. And just to be clear, the tool I'm using is completely free. You can just go online and just grab it. Gemini.google.com, and the Nano Banana component is the actual image processing. Now, Veed does have a trial, right? But it's limited, I think, isn't it, in terms of what you can do with it? And you will need to pay for a subscription.
You will run out in 5 minutes flat.
There you go.
So, and even for me, I sort of started off at a standard level, and before I knew I was at a pro level, and then a pro plus level, the price does go up a bit. So you're up to maybe $50 a month once you're at the pro plus level, which is
a lot,
fairly substantial. But I think it's probably worth it. But depends on how much content you're going to be creating. But certainly for entertainment value, it's been worth it.
And especially if you're going to be using maybe some of these AI tools to enhance your workflow for client work, because if you can cut down on the time it takes to generate images and things for clients, and then you're getting paid for the work, then obviously these types of tools are a great investment. But I do find what you just said is 100%. All the free plans are great, but you need to experiment and learn the tool and play with it. And the only way to do that is to run multiple images. And as soon as you start running multiple images, you burn through your credits, and then it's all over. So real quick, this image here, yeah, that's not a likeness at all. Let me just try and run this one last time, because that was disappointing. Because before it was pretty good. I have run some of these images before, but it's not playing ball tonight. Maybe new. So let's just do generate a...
That's because, you see, you've not paid money.
I know, generate a superhero. I know, that's the problem. I think it's like, oh, well, you're not going to work. So superhero image, cartoon style. Keep the likeness of all subjects. A tip for you as well is if you don't know what you're typing like me, I can't spell, I'll just... then use AI to generate the prompts for your AI image generation tool, because that can really help as well. Because if you are wanting to create some form of background or nice image or something that's a bit more sort of crazy, then it will help you with the prompt. Captain Commerce, teach Tatiana, and mentor Martin. Okay, well, we've got some characters there now. That's pretty good. I mean, you know, it's. I wouldn't have been able to come up with those. Where did it get Captain Commerce? I have no idea where he got that from. Anyway, we digress. It's a quick show tonight. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about these tools, let us know. We could focus on just one in particular and go through that. Again, like any AI tool, use with caution depending on what you want to do with it. I think if you augment some of the real stuff that we do with the AI generated videos, it can be really good for promotional material, short form content and things like that. I really love the things that Martin's been doing just to capture some attention. There's very little videos like this that you see on LinkedIn, and the whole point was really trying to stand out a little bit more in terms of video and so on. And I find that for me anyway, it seems to be that there's a lot less video on LinkedIn recently. I don't know whether you've noticed that, Martin. People are just either going back to sort of generic posting. I don't know if it's because they've removed the button some time ago in the app where you could actually scroll through and look at more people's videos. But I haven't seen as many videos recently. So I think it's ripe if you want to sort of generate a bit more content and interest on LinkedIn. Augment the video with your post. Don't stop posting, just have something different.
Yeah, and some of these are 5 seconds long, and they will repeat on LinkedIn, which is quite good because as someone's scrolling down, it's just going to repeat that 5-second clip,
right,
for you. So probably don't do the jump. I can imagine in 6 months' time, everybody will have done a backflipping type video because it's so impressive. You know what AI can do is so impressive, but that will get very boring very quickly. Much like the everybody as a character in a box of cellophane box type thing.
Oh yeah, those little action figures. Everybody did those.
Action figures. So AI is moving on so quickly that you need to get on board. You need to be learning these things and then work out what it is you want to do. If you go have a look at some of those videos that I've done on YouTube, some of them are very corporate style explainer videos, but with fantastic looking graphics over the back of them and things blended into one another and stuff. And you can do all of that with the AI. Really, really cool. So definitely recommend getting on board and having a look. I love Veed, but there could be many other tools out there, but you just have to select one and learn it.
And stick with it, yeah.
Before you know it, there'll be another one that's come along and you won't have time to go and pick 10 different tools and learn a bit about them each. You need to do a little bit more in-depth on one particular tool. So this in particular, I like the timelines on it. It's very much like iMovie or GarageBand or whatever else you might use of a similar nature. So it's very look and feel is exactly that. You just drag and dropping things onto the timeline and then clicking on them and then maybe changing animations, durations of animations and dragging the amount of time it's on the screen, and it's all fairly plug and play, self-explanatory, really. So I should have got the affiliate link out for that, shouldn't I?
Well, we can always put it in the description for next time. It's no problem. I mean, and if you want to know a little bit more, we'll put the links in the description. Next week we have a special host joining me because Martin's gallivanting on his holidays again. But this is what the show is about next week. We've got Ecamm versus OBS next week with myself and Saeed. I'm not sure what we're doing there. I think we're having a little bit of a fight, but you know, it's all tongue-in-cheek. We're actually just trying to highlight some of the differences between the tools, some of the similarities. You know, again, trying to work out which one is best for you. I'm a big believer in choosing the right tool for the right job and not pushing specific tools unnecessarily. And obviously, if you're on a PC environment and you're fully Windows, then you're not going to be able to use Ecamm, and that's why OBS is a good choice for you, and so on. There's so many tools out there. Again, go in, find out all about it, learn the tools, as I mentioned in a recent Substack post, and get sort of familiar with that. Saeed is an expert on OBS. He's been using it as his tool of choice for his facilitation, his video production, and so on. He doesn't do a ton of live streaming, but he doesn't need to. He's got all these scenes and everything set up in OBS to really showcase how well he can facilitate and present in these meetings. And really, you need something like OBS if you want to elevate your presence online and not necessarily do the same old boring Zoom meeting. So it's a bit of a tongue-in-cheek. It's not a real fight, but it might turn nasty. Who knows? We'll see. It could get feisty. But that's the show next week. Martin's going to be away. And yeah, it's going to be fun. So keep the comments, keep the dialogue coming in. I really appreciate everybody's joined us today on Substack, on LinkedIn. We've had some people on YouTube. We've had Mark in his Purd channel. We've got people everywhere. So it's really nice of you to join us tonight. Everything's kept up and running, which is wonderful. And Stream Alive has been a trooper. So any parting words from you, Martin, because we won't see you for a couple of weeks.
No. I mean, obviously it would normally be a substandard show next week without me on it. But as I know nothing about OBS, I think Saeed is a brilliant substitute.
Absolutely.
Enjoy yourself.
We will, and we'll have a good time, and we will miss you. But we'll hopefully you'll catch us on the replay and find out. Hopefully there'll be no bloody noses and things like that, but we'll see what goes on. So everybody, thanks for joining us. We'll see you same time. Well, we won't. I will. Same time, same place next week. Until then, bye.
Cheerio.